Hi, my name's Tony, and you've clicked on this ad because you want to know what I said that got me walking again. Well, I'm going to tell you those exact words, but also I'm going to tell you why they worked and how they can work for you. Now, this isn't a magic formula or kind of a set of words that'll magically make you healed. What they are a reflection of a mindset of how faith healing works and how it's done. I'm going to explain that to you and show you exactly how to get that done. But also, I'm going to show you something very special, something that is wonderful for people who may not be able to see faith healing in their life. What we can do is use existing grace, God's grace that we have already, and apply that to the actual problem that causes the pain, whether it's emotional or physical, that we're in. So we're going to learn two things today. One, what I said to get me walking again, and two, how you can use God's grace to get you healed. I was in a motorcycle accident and in this hospital bed. So one day, I'm in the hospital bed and I'm thinking, I could be here a while, you know? So I thought, instead of complaining about the pain, instead of complaining about the bad treatment or that I couldn't walk, I said in my head, I should do something useful here. At that moment, God says, get up, get out of bed and walk. And I said, I can't. I just tried. It took me 45 minutes to go from the room that I had to the next room over and back in a walker, 45-minute round trip, and that was maybe 15 feet. Well, I ran out of things to distract myself with, so I eventually tried, and I made it all the way around the hospital floor. The next day, I was timing my laps. I surprised a few nurses by even walking, because the day before I was basically bedridden, and they wouldn't even come change my sheets because I was in so much pain. They didn't want to touch me. Now, why did that work? Why did that get me up and walking? God says, get up and get out of bed and walk. But he said that because I didn't focus on the problem. I focused on I should do something useful, stepping out in faith that the problem doesn't even exist. At the point that I took an action, even if it was just a mental thought of I should do something useful, that's when the healing came. But I didn't realize the healing until I actually got out of bed and tried to walk, an act of faith that I was already healed. At that point, I could walk. Before I even tried, couldn't walk at all. Even after God told me to walk, I was not completely unchanged until I actually stepped out in faith and walked. So I got to be healing, got out of the rehab hospital down to only using one cane, went to the chiropractor, put my pelvic area back in line. Everything started healing up much faster. Was walking fine, but I still had back pain. And I'm thinking, well, why would I have back pain? I mean, I'm healed. I'm up and walking. The chiropractor puts the bone straight and all that. Why does it keep going crooked? Why do I keep having pain? So I did some research onto the emotional connection with illness and pain. Now, we all know stress causes health problems, of course. Well, that link with the emotion and your body is very important. So I did some research, learned some techniques of how to heal up emotional wounds and things like that. And it took me a couple months, but once I got that, I actually cleared up my back pain instantly, just like that. But it was a strange connection. It actually had to do with rejection issues. I'm like, what's that got to do with back pain? But what happens is, and we can talk about this later in later videos, but your body will manifest pain in the area that represents the actual cause. Most people don't know that. Your body's trying to communicate with you. So that way, you can actually look at the direction that the real cause is. And then we can apply the actual grace, the things God has given us, and apply that to the actual problem, which I'll show you later. Totally free. You don't even have to give me your email. I just want you to be blessed. Now, after I cleared up my own back pain, I would be pretty excited about this thing. I'd see people walking down the street and say, hey, you look like you're in pain. You want to try something? And they go, sure, why not? So we started healing wrist pain and back pain and knee pain and all these different things. And basically I wiped out every bad memory I have. I don't have anymore. I can think of bad things that happened, but I don't really care that much anymore. And I want that for you too. And I'll show you how to do that. And what happens is when you get rid of those old hurts, then your body heals. Because really it's the old hurts, the thought pattern, the belief, that is the foundational cause of the illness that causes you the pain. So I basically thought, this is pretty fun, healing people, seeing them get well. They don't even have to be Christian. And these techniques work really well. I thought, oh, gosh, I want to do this full time. So I went and got some education, so on and so forth. I started volunteering to get hours in a faith prayer line. And people will call in and say, hey, please heal me, or please get me healed. I have trouble with health, wealth, and relationships were the big three. They wanted prayer for these things. After a while, I kind of like, this is kind of pointless because they have a lot more authority over their life than I do. So I started telling them, well, let's use your authority and I'll show you how to do it. So I stopped praying for them altogether, and I would just instruct them, here's how you can use what you already have. Again, the grace. And what I found was God would be starting to heal these people every single time. They didn't have the faith for faith healing. They weren't even thinking in the right direction. They didn't even have the faith to be healed. They just knew that they were in pain and they needed someone to help, and they thought, well, let me call up some of the prayer line people. They're super spiritual. Maybe they'll get me healed. When given the opportunity to apply the grace to the real cause of the problem, I tell you, their pain was gone, the depression's gone, they have no more bad memories, they're feeling wonderful, they're so much closer to God, and they just really feel that intimate relationship. That's what I'm going to show you today. In this video, I'm going to take you through that process. It'll be a short version of the process. We can go in depth later on. But we're going to take you through the first 3 steps so that you can have a little taste of what does God's grace actually do to your life, and how does it feel when you have that God's grace. So, step 1, we're going to take authority over the situation. Step 2, we're going to plead the blood on it. And step 3, we're going to cast our cares and burdens, as the Bible says.